All right, let me set this video up. Before you start throwing stones because you've seen the username, I want to show y'all something, and I really want to help this guy out. At this point, I say, you know what? Maybe we should frame things in a way that would probably be much more digestible so that you can make what I think are very strong and informed opinions. Nib95 is, responding to a post that Oliver Darko, another PlayStation fan, clipped from Digital Foundry. And I listened to the clip and he's just saying, just upgrade, bro, whatever, okay. Nib said this: a lot of PC gamers forget, or don't know Steam hardware data shows most on Steam don't even have GPUs more performant than a vanilla PS5, let alone a PS5 Pro. Do you guys know what's actually very interesting about citing this particular data set? It's actually citing the data set without explaining who or why the data is actually there. Is Steam collecting the data for themselves? Or what is the reason they're collecting this data? A lot of console gamers, and if you play on console, I'm not dogging on you, but let me see if I can help you explain what Steam is. Steam is a gamer and developer platform, almost going hand in hand. And they open up almost everything to everybody. The gamers can see stuff, the developers can see stuff. The developers can see a bit more stuff than the gamers can see. But if you understand Steam from that perspective, you'll never go out and make such a claim or even run into, say, some kind of a conclusion that you're building because you understand a good piece of what the data is like. And he said this: PlayStation stated that the reason behind the Pro, and this reason he's talking about is the PS4 Pro, 4, not 5, 4, the Pro, was to entice not just console enthusiasts, but potential PC gamers. Then he cites this data set. Considering a whopping 42% of new PS5 buyers during the holidays were gamers new to PlayStation/PSN, Nib, this data set were people who were recently activated a PSN account and connected a PS5 to it. Nib, it wasn't stating if it was exactly the PS5 Pro or PS5. You've merged two data sets together that you want to use to drive home a point. It's very dangerous when you do that. Just trying to help you out. Then he said this: their strategies to draw in new customers is clearly working. So he's basically trying to say that somewhere, somehow, that either these PlayStation 4 users, and he said this, according to Sony, countless PS4 owners haven't yet upgraded to a PS5, which is why GTA 6 is going to be, Impact will be especially interesting. So if I'm understanding this, Nib, you're saying that these PS4 players are the ones going to PlayStation 5? If they are, then how come they're just activating their new accounts? So how did Sony get this data set? You might be putting a big, huge wrench in their wheels if you say this and you draw and you don't clarify, because someone can draw that conclusion. I'm not drawing it, I'm just asking you. Number two, what makes you think that the Steam hardware survey is not for Sony and is for people to come in console war? The Steam hardware survey data is actually designed to help developers to be able to look very carefully at how they position their games from a hardware and support and compatibility perspective. Nib, you don't make games on PC, whereas PlayStation does. So I'll show you something that will teach you exactly why the Steam hardware survey is there. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts and welcome for the ride. Let's go to PlayStation Studios. When we go to PlayStation Studios and we look through all of PlayStation Studios' existing games that have already been published, all the way to their latest games, the beauty of the PC platform is they show you the minimum and recommended requirements. Do you know what you're going to see on the most recent game? You're going to see that they're actually recommending the game to spec lower than some of the more prevalent hardware classes, such as the GTX 1650 GPU, the 55XT GPU, the i3-8100 CPU, and the Ryzen 3 1300X CPU, and maxing out at the RTX 3060 or the RX 5700. The developers are not making their games, more of them in general, by and large, out of this range of what they feel is a median of the hardware being used. If they were wanting to attract you to come to their platform, then why are they making the games to fit even the low-end hardware that more PC gamers have? Did you stop to think about that? And this is why I've told you, and I don't know if you watch my videos, and Zubitech, to leave this data set alone. This data set is like giving a burning flame to a 2-year-old. If they don't know how to wield it, to shine a light ahead of them to see where they're going, they'd burn down the entire forest. That's what's going on here. So if you are looking at that and saying, well, this is what this means and that's what that means, then let's just look at the PlayStation, who you say are trying to attract people to the Pro, and look at how they're making their ports. It's all here. We don't have to go anywhere. Look at Marvel Spider-Man 2. What are the requirements in terms of GPU and CPU? Minimum 1650. Where does 1650 land in the hardware survey? On the low scale, one of the higher end GPUs that is being used on one of the higher frequently used GPUs on the low end, and the 3060, one of the mid-range frequently used GPUs in terms of people who are using them. They're not going past that. If they go past that, their game doesn't sell. They reduce their chances because they basically lock a bunch of people out. Do you think that they want to go ahead and have those people then go buy a Pro when those people can just buy a small upgrade? Because the guy that's got, say, anything crappier than a 1650 has an easier upgrade path to a 1650 than they do to a PS5 Pro. Have you not looked at the prices? Come on. Again, I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to roast this guy. I'm trying to broaden or at least help him see what it is that we're looking at here from both the dev side and from the gamer side. As much as it's easy to come in here and try to console war and maybe make your own box shine or whatever it is, this data set has basically unveiled something that many people have not taken into account when they actually start wielding and throwing the stuff. They used to use this data set for the console war. These so-called, PC users, they make fun of the PS5 Pro, but they're not even using the biggest data set, the biggest hardware, the most powerful hardware. Why would they? PlayStation is making games that suits the already existing hardware that most of them have. What incentive do they have to go buy another hardware piece when majority of devs are making games that are actually coming to them? God of War Ragnarok, take a look at it. GTX 1060. Whoa. Max, the RTX 2060 or the RX 5700. Right in front of you, right here. We can keep going. I'm going to go through every 26 of them on this particular platform. Let's go through every single one of them. And I know the most tasking one, almost off the top of my head, just like the back of my palm. Where are you at, Returnal? Come here. Returnal is the one that kind of shocked me. I was like, whoa. Returnal said, hey, man, for the, recommended requirement, why don't you give us a 2070 Super, of which it no longer is, that tasking anymore since they're now using 3060. So before they started actually maxing it out of the 3060, you could play it. So even with the 2070 and the 1060 and the 1070 and the 1080, the 1080 Ti, the 1080 Titan, and even the 20 whatevers that are more, powerful than the 1060, you have a lot of room and a lot of leeway and a lot of gamers who can play these PlayStation games without any hassle. Shall we continue? Let's continue, because if we stop now, they'll say, what? Stellar Blade? What are they asking? GTX 1060. It's right here. They're not even a first-party PlayStation developer. Even they know what's up, right? Let's keep going. You see, a lot of console gamers, when you buy a PC because you want to kind of like step up to PC gamers, actually use it. It's really going to inform you. See, I've noticed many of them will go buy this expensive PCs. They'll be like, "Oh, I bought your gaming. I got this. I got a 5090. You PC gamers don't even have a 5090." You're like, bruh, you don't need one. If you like playing PlayStation games, regular games, why do you buy a 5090? We don't say anything though. We're like, well, Nvidia thanks you. Right? What is this? Days Gone? What are you saying? GTX 780. Oh my gosh. That's a relic. Recommended GTX 1060. That's a relic in terms of hardware. So once again, who are these people that are going to go ahead and say, when I could just upgrade to the very best thing that they're asking me to upgrade to is either a 3060 or 2070 for these PlayStation games? Why would I go spend $800 on a console that doesn't give me an upgrade path, that takes away the freedom that I've enjoyed on PC, being able to play my games how I want, mod them when I want, do whatever the heck I want. I'm going to go into a closed platform for more money when that platform, it's shipping its games to me to play at the hardware that I have most likely. From a logical perspective, that makes absolutely no sense for a PC gamer to go ahead and do something like that. Are y'all seeing what's going on? It makes absolutely no sense for them to go ahead and do that, if you get what I mean. So, I hope this has been a very good lesson, and if he has not seen this video, I may just put a link there to say stop touching the Steam hardware data until you've been Jedi trained to wield this stuff. If not, the lightsaber is going to cut you. Peace out.